Hello everyone, Studlord here, and today we're going to take a look at the top 10 LEGO Ideas train related sets that are trying to gain support, reach that 10,000 vote mark so that they can potentially become a new LEGO Ideas set. Now, just a couple of things. I'm not going to include ones which simply don't have enough time left to reach the 10,000 votes. Sorry. Nor am I going to include ones that aren't strictly of trains and buildings, no matter how good they might be. That's for a separate video. This is all about the trains and the buildings. So from lowest current supporters through to highest, let's get started. First up, we have this, the Malard Boy. What a train and what a design. This has been very lovingly recreated. How does this not deserve its own LEGO set? It's one of the most iconic steam trains in history. It just absolutely deserves to be done. Now, I know a lot of people were disappointed with what LEGO Ideas did with the likes of the Orient Express submission. I totally get it, but that's a separate conversation. And please, let's do have it in the comments below. But for this, I just want to judge them exactly as the designer has submitted them, because there's simply no telling if they ever did get chosen whether LEGO would, keep it the same or make it worse, who knows. But this has been done really, really nicely. If we compare it to the picture that the designer has actually put here of the actual train, you can really see how the shaping has just been caught very, very well. Especially here, down by the wheels, that's just superbly done. And I love the detailing on the carriages. Now, this is a big model. It clocks in at just under 3,000 pieces. It's an updated version from this designer because of the 3,000 piece limit. This is now on standard tracks. To me, that's really not a problem because now we actually have these really wonderful carriages. I mean, look, it's a stunning train. It's a stunning design of the train. I think it 100% deserves support. Now, of course, just my personal opinion. As always, get commenting below. Let me know what you think about this. There's always things that I don't pick up first time round. It's great when they get pointed out to me. But this has got a lot of time left to reach support. It's obviously chugging along quite nicely at the moment. But if you like the look of it and want to get it progressed through to the next review stage, where LEGO actually have to properly consider this, then head on over to LEGO Ideas and lend it your support. And of course, the same goes for all of these that we'll be looking at. Next up, we have this one, which is a current staff pick. And it's a good looking model, as the designer themselves has put, although this is a custom name. Its inspiration is extremely real and again, very deserving of being popped into LEGO. Now, it would need some tweaking around, adding a tender, power-up options in order to actually motorize this, which is something that I always look for when it comes to these trains. For me, I don't just want display pieces, I do want them to be able to run. So, whilst that is a bit of a mark down for this one, it can be added, and who knows, maybe that's something that LEGO would even do if it was chosen. Not provide the power-up functions, of course. We know that they're generally a bit too stingy to do that most of the time, but they might give us the option. This is certainly a good looking display piece. I really love the shaping and the colours that have been captured by the designer on this. So while it's not my favourite on the ones currently gathering support, the appeal is by no means lost on me. Now, once again, a very respectable 2,300 odd supporters currently, and with a lot of time left to gain more. If you like the look of it, have a think about supporting it as well. Of course, not all of these will ever stand a chance of being made, even if they get selected, but if you really like a designer's work, then it's great to get them to that 10,000 votes. It's just a small show of appreciation. Now, as mentioned, only 10 days left, so I'm going to have to skip over the Flying Scotsman, I'm afraid, and we move on to our steel mill. Now, this is truly a brilliant idea. We haven't had a factory, and we so need one for the train setup. This is brilliant. I mean, just look at it. It's so good looking, it's almost dirty. I mean, it just seems wrong in a way. It's so cool. Love all the little details that's going on here. It's just absolutely jam-packed. I know that certain things here have had to be switched a little bit. They're not going to be completely true to life, but this is only a 1,700 piece set. Looks so much more than it when I'm actually looking at these photos. This is one of those designs where every individual piece has just been expertly used here. This is really, really good. I like it very, very much. And as much as, like I said earlier, I would like a full-on train, I'd love something that can be motorized, this is missing from my setup. This is something that is absolutely needed. I think no doubt about it, I'm definitely going to be supporting this one. Let me know if you agree in the comments below. Next up, we've got the Big Boy. And we've seen it before, unfortunately, in a supported LEGO Ideas that just simply didn't get selected. So, to be honest, I don't hold out much hope of this one making it through either. But by goodness, look at it. Love the way that it's been done to just come apart here so we can actually take a good detailed look at the inner workings. Really nicely done. But of course, for me, it's just the colours. This is one mean looking machine, and boy, would it be brilliant if LEGO did it exactly as we're seeing here. Just looks so good. Of course, if the size is going to be properly done, it might struggle when it comes to turning on tracks. Now, the previous submission that we saw for a Big Boy actually had that sorted so that when it was motorised, you could run it round tracks with a reasonable curve. This one, maybe it does the same. I'm not seeing the same detail in that regard when it's on these photos. And just having a look through the description, I don't think so either. Then again, it's less parts being used than that prior submission that we've seen before. So maybe this actually stands a bit more of a chance. Such another iconic train, definitely deserves to be in LEGO. If you agree, head on over, hit support. Up next, we've got another staff pick, the Railway Keeper's House. Now, whilst I don't like this as much as that factory we were just looking at, again, another really nice design, something that's going to lend itself to most people's setups. Love the colours and the pieces used. Just check out the shine on that platform. You don't see them as clean as that, do you? But it's been really nicely thought out. Love the switching track. The detailing on the outside is cool, but so is the case on the inside as well. Yeah, this is a good looking set. Another one that I really like the look of. How big is it? 1,860 parts, okay. It's a pretty decent size, not too big, so again, would come in at a decent price point if it ever did get picked. Another good submission, not my favourite again, but it's strong. As good as it looks on the outside, it's also the fact that it's just been so nicely done on the inside as well. Big tick in the box from me. Okay, next up we've got this one, an 1800s railroading bridge and engine. And hey, look, it's gathering quite a bit of support already, nearing 6,000 supporters, lots of days left. So I think this could very easily hit the 10,000 mark, and it's immediately easy to see why. This is a 440 train, so 4 front wheels, 4 driving wheels, 0 trailing wheels. Obviously an iconic part of this time period, as were these bridges, and what a display piece this makes for. It's stunning. I love the use of colour. Never mind the details that we'll get to in a minute, just the colours on this are something beautiful. They really are. And the wheel arrangement being what it is just super cool. I really like this set. Now, even the bridge, never mind the train, just the actual bridge is really nicely done too. But when we do come to this train, all the little attention to detail that's been put into this is really lovely. Again, just thinking slightly critically, whilst it definitely deserves support, I think probably wouldn't be seriously considered by LEGO as being turned into a set. Certainly not as we're currently seeing it here. A lot of the build price is going into the base. As much as I really like the bridge, just altogether I think it is going to shove the price up quite a bit. Again, we're not looking at something that's motorised here, or even currently with room for power-up functions. So quite a bit of changes would have to be made there, which is what, in all honesty, pushes it down the list for me. But it's a shame because I really like the look of it. Display piece alone, fantastic, but a lot of our model size is coming from the base. And whilst it's an awesome looking base, probably wouldn't be that cost effective. That's just my critical thinking. Otherwise, loving the parts usage and the colours. It's just fabulous. So really amazing. Well done. Not sure what the minifigure's about there. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. But the build itself is pretty stunning. So not surprised that it's gathering quite a bit of support. Moving on now though, we come to the Polar Express. Well, obviously, a fond favourite for many. It is an incredible story, a brilliant film. I'm sure a lot of us have watched again and again. Now sadly, we have seen the Polar Express in one guise or another proposed via LEGO Ideas before, always to fail. So I suspect that even if this does reach the 10,000 votes, the same thing is probably going to happen. But you know what? That isn't a reason not to vote, because ultimately, if you stop trying, LEGO will never pay attention. So if you do like the look of this, again, go on over, hit support. You never know. It might just happen. And again, it deserves to, because I'm sure that this is one many people would buy. It's not just for train fans. Those who also love the book, love the film, the story in general, would also be interested in this. So commercially, it kind of makes sense. To me, that's the rationale I'm putting behind it. It's just based off of those past failures that I doubt we would see this. But don't let that stop you. Even if it's not going to get made, the designers, at the very least, deserve to know that you enjoy their creations. So another good one that is worthy of support. And then, if this design looks at all familiar to you, you might recognise it as being another creation from the designer who had success in the first series of the Bricklink Designer Programme, and also again in the upcoming Series 4. You see, this is our Wild West train station. Well, in Series 4 we are going to be getting this, the Wild West train. And I've said in previous videos looking at this, what an amazing train it is. I cannot wait for when this Series 4 comes round. I am definitely going to be trying to pre-order this. No shadow of a doubt, it is an awesome build. Because of it, do we need to have a train station as well? There's obviously a little bit of crossover here. Whilst it's certainly not necessary, it would be nice. Again, I love that this does actually match in pretty well with the likes of the Lone Ranger sets that I have on display. I am a fan of the Wild West as well as trains, so this for me ticks 2 boxes, which is fantastic. I'm definitely looking, more forward to the actual train itself coming in that Bricklink Designer Programme, but having a train station as well, especially one that's as nicely detailed as this, I certainly wouldn't say no if it was on offer. Another really super design. This is very much a sort of Goldilocks set for me because, there's not too much going on, it's not too big, there's not too little, it's just about the right amount. I would very happily have that on display. Next up we have our Rack Railway. This is another one by Baron von Baron. I am a fan of the designs. Now, the designer has popped that they're not aware of there currently being a real Rack Railway. A wheel Rack Railway? A real Rack Railway, currently done by Lego. I have to say I'm not either, so let me know in the comments if you're aware of something that I'm not. But it's just a brilliant idea because, of course, normal friction trains can't go on gradients over 10%, so that's where the cog pinion system would come in for something like this, and it kind of makes perfect sense to actually have it as a set because it's different from what we've seen before. It's almost a bit of a no-brainer moment where I'm like, how have we not had something like this before? Because it just looks awesome. What a display piece this is. It's just another one where I would buy this without any hesitation if I could. I mean, look, if I was a minifigure, I wouldn't be using this as a passenger. I think there's a bit of a health and safety issue up here, but as a collector, this is one I would dearly like to have. Again, it's just been very cleverly thought out, all the little details that go into this. I mean, just look again at the bridge and the foliage, the way that's been done is pretty fantastic, as is the water and our little cheese wedges as rocks around it. It's just thought out so wonderfully. And for a simple idea, for, an overall simple design, it's been thought out wonderfully. Every little complexity has been addressed. It's beautifully done. Another one that's definitely gaining my support because I just think this is brilliant. I really do. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. But now we reach our number 1. This is our Lisbon Tram, and it currently has the highest amount of supporters out of these train sets that are gathering support. And look, almost a full year left. There's pretty much no doubt that this is going to reach 10,000. So let's take a proper look at it. This is made up of 2,241 pieces, which does make it one of the larger builds. Again, just thinking forwards to potential cost implications when it does reach its 10,000 mark and actually has to be reviewed by the Lego Ideas board. One of the sort of things that would go against it. However, that's pretty much the only thing I can think of to go against it, because otherwise, what a fantastic set to have. If you've ever been to Portugal, and obviously particularly Lisbon, then you will know that riding on the trams is probably one of the highlights, quite frankly. It is the way to get around, and this is brilliant. I really like the colours, obviously on the tram itself, but also our little pavement and station, and of course our minifigures all lend to this really nicely too, and just so deserving of the support that it's got so far. I, as I've said, have no doubt that this is going to get to 10,000 votes pretty dang quickly. And whilst my faith was shaken a bit with Lego Ideas specifically for trains with the Orient Express, that doesn't mean that I want to give up. I still bought the Orient Express with some changes. It's certainly a lot better, and I want to see more train sets. I'm sure a lot of you do too. Each of these certainly has a reason to deserve support, and just simply because we've looked over the past few videos at the ones, in the current review period that have achieved support, or ones that made it and were then rejected for one reason or another, I really feel that it was time to have a look at these ones that are gaining that support, simply to say that if there is any that you like the look of, that you'd like to give that chance to becoming a real set to, then head on over and give it your vote. At the very least, it's a little thank you to the creators of these sets. It takes a lot of time time and effort to put into design things like this, so I do tip my hat to all of them. But there we go. That was the top 10. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. On the subject of liking things, consider doing it for this video too, and of course subscribing if you haven't already. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to catching you on the next one.